Hello students, I hope you all are well. Dear students, in the previous class we have done with the force and its effects. Then we have done that force may be the balanced force or it may be the unbalanced force. Then we have studied that force may be the contact force or the force may be non-contact force. Now before telling you the name of the topic which we will discuss today, I am going to do an introductory activity related with the topic which we will discuss today. To do this activity, I have taken this brick. This side of the brick is known as the length, as this side is also equal to this side, so it is also the length. This is known as the breadth and this one is known as the height. We can place this brick on the sand in three different ways. The first way in which the length and this breadth is in contact with the sand. Second, second combination may be in which the length and height are in contact, and the third combination in which the breadth and height are in contact. Now let us see what happens when we place the brick in three different ways on the sand. Firstly, I am going to keep the brick in such a way that its length and its breadth is in contact with the sand, and to apply a force I am going to put a stone on it, and after we will keep this stone on the brick for some time. Now I am going to remove this stone, and now I am going to pick this brick. Now you can see an impression of the brick on the sand. Now next I am going to put the brick in this way, and you can see here the length and the breadth of the brick is in contact with the sand. Now I am going to put the same stone on the brick, and we will keep it on the brick for some time. I have used the same stone in three cases so that the amount of force remains same. Now I'm going to pick this stone, and I'm going to pick this brick also. Now again you can see an impression on the sand. Now next I'm going to put the brick in this way, and here you can see that is the breadth and the height are in contact, and I will put the same stone on the brick so that the amount of force remains same as in the earlier two cases. Now after some time again we will pick this stone. After picking up stone and brick, you can again see an impression on the sand. Now we will measure the depth of these impressions with the help of the scale. Now when we measure the first impression, so here it is approximately it's 4 millimeter. Then we measure the second one. Here it is approximately 6 mm, and when we measure the third impression, here the depth it is approximately 1.8 centimeter. Now why there is a difference in the depth of these three impressions? Students, in the activity we have observed that is the depth of impression on the sand is different when we place the brick in three different ways on the sand. Now why there is difference in the depth of impressions on the sand, let us understand it mathematically. Let us consider that is the length of this brick is 10 centimeter, the breadth of this brick is 5 centimeter, and the height of the brick is 3 centimeter. Now let the mass of the brick is 10 kg and the mass of the stone which we kept on this brick it 20 kg. Now here I have written the Newton word because the weight of the object is also a type of force. So the total weight of brick and stone it is 30 Newton, and it remains same in either we put the brick in first case situation or in second situation or in third situation. Means the force applied by the combination of this brick and stone on the sand is remains same. Means there is no change in the force applied on the sand. Now here what is the difference? Here the difference is only in the area. Okay, now let us understand that is how the area is different in these three situations. Now here the length and breadth, first situation the length and breadth are in contact with the sand. So if we find the area, so area it's like a rectangle, so its area it's one side multiplied with second side. So first side is of 10 centimeter and second side is of 5 centimeter, so area comes out to be 50 centimeter square. Centimeter square is the unit of the area. Similarly, if we will find the area in the second situation, so it is the multiplication of length into height. So length is 10 centimeter and height is 3 centimeter, so area comes out to be 30 centimeter square. And in the third situation, when breadth and height are in contact, then area comes out to be it's 5 multiplied by 3, which is equal to 15 centimeter square. So here you can see that is here we are having the area 15 centimeter square, here we are having the 50 centimeter square. So this one is the minimum area of contact of brick with the sand, and here we are having the maximum area of contact of the brick with the sand. And in this case the depth of the impression is minimum, and here the depth of the impression is maximum. From here we conclude that is impact of force depends not only its magnitude means amount of applied force, but it also depends on area of contact, because in this activity we have seen that on changing the area, impact of force also changes. Okay, so here scientists feel a need to define one more term which will consider both the factors, that is the magnitude of force and area of contact, and they named this term as pressure. So pressure is actually measure the effect of force over a given area. So students, I hope you will understand that is what is the topic of discussion, that is the pressure. Pressure is found in solids as well as in liquid and gases, but today we will study the pressure in solids only. Now the first question comes, that is why the solids exert force? Because the solids have weight, means the solids have mass, and due to their mass they apply a force, they apply a pressure on the surface of other objects. Now there is a one more quantity which you are supposed to be know, that is to explain that I have considered this pin, and the base of this pin is having some area, and if I want to put this or insert this pin under these pages, or if I want to put this pin on maybe this notice board is there, then what I supposed to be do, this is the pin and I have to apply the force on the pin in this way, downward direction, so that it will insert in the pages. Okay, so here you can see that it is the area of contact of the tip of the pin and the page, and I have applied the force in this direction, and you here observe that is this pin is actually perpendicular to the surface of this page, means it is lying perpendicularly, or it is lying at an angle of 90 degree to the area of contact. So it means in this case the force is acting perpendicular to the surface of the page, and the force in perpendicular direction is known as thrust. So the force in a perpendicular direction is known as thrust. So we can define the pressure as thrust per unit area. Thrust per unit area. Okay, that is pressure is thrust divided by area. You can also define it as thrust ki jagah you can consider that is force per unit area. You can define the pressure in these two forms. Both forms are right. Either pressure is defined as thrust per unit area or force per unit area. All of you already know the unit of force. Unit of force is the Newton. As the thrust is also a type of force, as the direction has no unit, so the unit of thrust are also Newton. Similarly, if we want to find out the units of pressure, so pressure is thrust per unit area and the unit of thrust is Newton, and we know that area is meter, it's a meter square, or you can consider as a centimeter square, but here we will not consider, we are not considering this centimeter because Newton is SI, and it means ki it is I have defined it 1 kg multiplied by 1 meter per second square. So here we are having meter, that's why here we have considering the area in meter square. So what is the unit of pressure? Unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, and this combined term is known as Pascal. It is known as Pascal. It is after the name of the scientist. So the unit of pressure is Pascal. Now how we can define 1 Pascal of pressure? So 1 Pascal of pressure is defined as, or it is the amount of pressure required to put the SI unit of pressure is Pascal, and how you can define 1 Pascal of pressure? So 1 Pascal means 1 Newton of force applied on 1 meter square of area. So 1 Pascal is the pressure produced when 1 Newton of force acts on an area of 1 meter square. There are so many other units of pressure which you will study in your higher classes. Now students, there are so many applications of pressure. As we already know, that is pressure is defined as a force per unit area or thrust per unit area, or if we keep the force constant, or it means if the force applied on object is remain constant, then pressure is inversely proportional to area. That is, if area of contact is more, then pressure applied on the pressure exerted on the object is less, and if area of contact is less, then the pressure exerted on the object is more. Now this phenomena is used in various activities or in various objects in our day-to-day life. Now the first example is, that is, have you ever think why the straps of your bag are broad, or what happens if the strap of the bag becomes thin? I think it's very difficult for you all to hold or to carry the bag on your shoulders, because the strap with the thin area can hurt your shoulders, because we know that is the pressure applied is inversely proportional to area. Now whether the strap of the bag are broad or these are thin, if the weight of the bag remains the same, then if area of contact is more, because we are keeping the weight of the bag same. Now if we will use the broad straps, if the area is more, then the pressure applied on your shoulder, it decreases, and if the straps are thin, it means the area of contact decreases. If area of contact decreases, it means the impact of pressure or the impact of force increases. That is, in the case of thin straps, more pressure is exerted on our shoulders, which may hurt our shoulders. So this bag the example of this bag is actually the example in which we have increased the area of contact. Similarly, you have seen so many other bags in your home. You have seen the handbags of your mother or sister, or you have seen the suitcases which are having the handles which are broad. So why they are broad? So that the impact of pressure which is exerted by all these things on our hands or in our shoulders, that can be decreased. There are so many other examples in our surrounding in which we have increased the area of contact to decrease the impact of pressure on the surface. For example, the buses, trucks and heavy vehicles usually have double wheels. Why they are having double wheels? Because by this we increase the area of contact. Similarly, the army tankers or the bulldozers, they will fitted with the caterpillar tracks so that the area of contact can be increased. Similarly, the railway tracks are laid on either wooden sleepers or iron sleepers or the concrete sleepers. And one more example is there, that is the base of the buildings or the dams are generally wide. In all these examples, we are actually we have actually increasing the area of contact to decrease the pressure, because in all these examples either we will consider the bus, truck, train, either we will consider the bulldozer, or we will consider that army tank or any other tank. So all these objects are actually very heavy, means they will apply a very large force. They are applying a very large force on the surface. So to decrease the impact of force, because we know that if the area of contact is more, then impact of force is less. So actually in all these cases the force is very large. So to decrease the impact of force, we actually increase the area of contact so that we decrease the pressure exerted by all these objects on the surface becomes less. Students, there are some examples in which we actually decrease the area of contact so that for the same force we can increase the impact of pressure. For example, I have taken these two nails, and one nail is having a sharp tip and the second is having the broad tip. So out of these two nails, which nail can easily go inside the block? So obviously it is the nail with the less area, because if the area is less, then for the same force pressure exerted by this nail on the surface of the block is more, so this nail easily go inside the block. Similarly, we are having so many other examples like this. We are having the safety pin. It's this side which goes inside the cloth, it is very sharp. So here we have decreased the area so that we can increase the impact of pressure. Similarly, we are having this paper pin. This paper pin will easily we can insert it easily wherever we want if its tip is sharp. Okay, and this is the needle. The needle, it is having a sharp tip so that it can easily go inside the clothes which we want to stitch. And one more thing, I have taken this knife, and it is easy to cut the objects with the knife having the less area. Okay, here we are having the two sides of the knife, and you can see that here this side is having a large area, this end is having the large area, and this end is having a less area. If I cut the this potato with this side which is having a large area, so I have applied a very large force. But if I will use the side of less area, I am able to cut the potato easily. So for the same so I have applied less force, but the work done is more. So in the less effort to get the more result, we actually decrease the area of contact so that we can increase the impact of pressure. I hope all this information, and the activities helps you to understand the term pressure in solids. Thank you.